Hello. I don't know that I quite feel up to this today, but here I am. It's gotten to be a habit, maybe for you and for me. Um, it's interesting. Uh, I have a written journal to do for you with an interesting title. It's from 9/6 of 2010, the first of that day, which was 12 night or house, and it's called To Close Out the Devils. Is to close out the angels. And I just had a thought before I turned this on. Lately I've got some more people accusing me of being a reptilian, and I can't help but find it rather amusing, my friends. And so, unless their energy is really, really ugly, I respond to them. I try to lighten it up and see how they respond. But it's interesting because we project on others energies that we haven't yet dealt with within ourselves. We will also project on others energy that we haven't, it's what we haven't assimilated, be it of light or of dark. And every coin has two sides. So if we worship or revere a teacher too much, like a Muji or an Eckhart or something, what we're doing there is externalizing. We're seeing in them that which is in us. It's the same thing, it's projecting. And so that works both ways. And I just find it interesting. So we'll let that be the little prelude, and I'll share this journal with you. All right, so we're back to 9/6 of 2010. This day may be Labor Day or some holiday or another. I don't know. Not being in touch with the media really frees one from forced awareness of such things and not having to punch a time clock too. I know it's an approximate date for the leaving of hummingbirds, but I haven't found it so. I still have quite a crew of them. Lovely, feisty, fearless little critters. They make life more pleasant. Geez, am I really going to talk about this? Oh, well, it's what flows. Everything makes life more pleasant in one sense. It's there, it's accepted. Life is instantly more pleasant, even if it's something seemingly unfortunate. You slipped and fell into a muddy ditch. Acceptance is still a great blessing. It frees one from so much. The unpleasantness of life is largely created in the mind. Maybe all of it. Who knows? But it's not built into the things, the circumstances at all. If it were, then everyone in those circumstances would respond the same way. And then, of course, they don't. So it's not built in. If it's not in the things, the out there-ness of that, then it is obviously in you. Do you see? And if it's within you, that means you have some control, some choices about it. Not whether it happens or not. That just is what it is. But what you do about it or with it. What face do you turn to it? Are you welcoming to life? Or are you resentful, angry, grouchy? If you figure that you know something, that makes you more likely to be closed. You already know, so there's no need to let anything new in, is there? Sorry, lost my place. But what do you do about it, or with it. I lost my place. Okay, so you're closed if you already know it. Why do that? Why be open to something when you already know? So, this feeling of knowing is the way we close doors. We use it to block many things in the life that we don't even perceive through the closed doors of our knowing. So much for my little paean of praise for not knowing. There are many kinds of this too. One that's been coming to me lately for some work on acceptance is lack of memory of childhood. Up until about age 8, this life for me is a pretty dark blank. Aside from a snapshot here and there, a new puppy walking to school, I have no memory. None at all. I at least know why not. There's sexual abuse in there. When you're little, especially, such things are too horrible to bear. So you don't bear them. You bury them away. Much like the rest of life, though, you can't choose to just bury the bad stuff. It all has to go. You lose the memory of the good stuff as well. Repression, which I lived more than half of my life doing pretty strongly. Well, it works that way. It's like wanting your third eye vision to open, but only wanting to see angels and light. That doesn't work, of course. If you see, then you see. Whatever is there, you see both sides of the coin. We've been taught to welcome only the seemingly good and the pleasant things in life, my friends. I suggest we question this. Look around. Look within. Are there not two sides to every coin? By seeking to repress everything or avoid and simply not see everything negative, well, life just doesn't work that way. Repression or avoidance is more total than that. If we all lived in an ancient mystery school like Pythagoras had at Crotona in Greece, then we'd have a more balanced view. We'd be taught, helped to see how great blessings they come in disguise. Some of our biggest and best growth periods, these seem externally unpleasant, at least at the time. Only for a while. They're not usually long-lasting. If they are, then we've likely missed an opportunity to make choices. Or we've simply made the wrong choice. The only solid reality in life in 3D is that everything changes. What you find not changing in your life is an indicator that you've closed yourself off to something. Best to have a look at that, see what's beneath. It may be nothing remotely related to what's on the surface of life for you, or it may seem that way. The connections are much deeper than surface ones. We've got to dive down below, deeper in consciousness. In the stillness and silence of the heart, sometimes these things, they come up and reveal themselves. There's resolution desired here on deeper levels of being than perhaps we're used to being aware of consciously. No, but we are aware. Beneath the surface, we know. We may not want to look at it, to see it. We don't welcome it. Well, let's just look at that. Give it some time just being in its presence. No big decisions necessary. Nothing but seeing. Just be still. Take a look. That's what I'm seeking to do with what some call the inner child, the wounded one. No one gets out of childhood unwounded, you know. We're very sensitive things. We're very sensitive things when we're small, and life is harsh. It's bound to catch up with us at many points. So we've all got pain buried there, most likely. So let's be merciful. Let's let the inner child have her say. Just let her exist. Have her story, her perspective on things. The beauty of this is that the current you, with all your experiences of life, all of your wisdom too, has much to offer this child. She can be greatly comforted if you'll just give her the chance to share with you what she's been holding inside. Let her speak. Don't edit or correct her. I did that a lot. Back when I first learned about the inner child work that could be done, I gave it a shot. I didn't like what I found, though. I didn't want to believe these things. So the welcome she got, it was quite mixed. Overall, I didn't validate her experiences, so back to repression I went. Oh well, we all do our best, my friends. Give yourself and others this allowance, this realization, please. If you look into things, I think you'll find this is so. People do the best that they can at the time, and that includes you. Nor is it fair to condemn them now for what they did long ago. Back then, both you and they were different, much less developed, less aware. So let's cut some slack to all parts of life. Let's give it all the benefit of the doubt. This inner stuff I've found doesn't come up until it's ready to do so. What that amounts to, though, is your inner readiness for it. There's an inherent wisdom that operates in life here. So we can pretty well trust that if it's coming up now, then now is the time for it. This is the perfect time for it. So let's open those doors. Stop shutting life out. Let it in. We've been taught to fear pain. Admit it, we have. If we step back from this and have a dispassionate look at it, well, it's ridiculous. We've been taught to fear one side of the coin. How can we ever expect to collect any coins if we only want one side of them? How ridiculous is that? Well, we're just about as ridiculous. Being unwilling to simply accept that life comes with both pain and pleasure. See, that's the thing right there. Life comes with pain. Pain is a part of it. But like everything else, it comes and it goes. It's only our hanging on to it by refusing to accept and admit it in that keeps it hanging around. It's not meant to do that, but we keep putting it off, not willing to face what it brings. By now, you should have heard this little saying, what you resist persists. I think we all have. Well, the refusal of pain to leave your life, to just transition away like everything else does, has to do with this resistance to it. That's what keeps it present with us, that closed door again. So, my friends, let's live life a little more spaciously. Let's spread our wings a bit. Let's allow it to be just what it is. Let's give all things permission to simply be what they are. Sound sensible? I think you'll find your life will greatly improve if you try this. Just let resistance go. It's fear-based, you know, so it can't be good just because of that fear. Let's let it go. We were taught we were these little insignificant nothings, these biological accidents of time in a great big overwhelming universe or cosmos. Well, there was some intent behind this teaching. It programmed us to be intimidated by things. Do you see? If you're a nothing, then pretty much everything is greater than you. Maybe you've got cause to fear then. You see? Well, let's unsee that. Let's kick over the lie and get rid of it. We are great cosmic light beings, all of us. Yes, that means you too. I'm nothing special here. You are just as much the light as I am. All are that. Furthermore, all are one. We were simply lied to and programmed to live in fear. Well, we're kicking those shackles off. So this journal maybe helps some to see into some of this, how it works to keep us miserable, this living in fear. We don't acknowledge it, don't even really see it, because the programming is buried so deeply. But it's there. Have a look, a spacious look. See you next time. Be in heart, and remember, it is what it is. Running away won't help or change anything. Let's let it have its isness and just make peace with that. Good day. We can surely do that. By offering acceptance to things, we can expect to see more flow and change in our lives. We're the ones preventing the flow, my friends. Let's just see that. Let's quit blaming life and take responsibility as sovereign beings we are, if we choose to be. It is a choice. By trying to shut out the bad things, we've shut out many good things as well. By trying to shut out the devils, we've closed off the angels too. We have much support and help that is present, but until we can give a more blanket acceptance to the simple isness of life, we won't fully see or experience it. Amazing things come when you accept. And that's the end of that one. And it's really so. I don't know about you, but I've got broader vision now than I had back in September of last year. And I'm sure you do too, all you journalers out there. If you go back and look at your journals from about 6 months ago or whatever it is, you'll see. You just have broader vision. The scope is wider. It encompasses more. And I see now that this being taught that we're small, that we're biological accidents, that everything is just random, it really sets us up to never step up into the great divine dignity of who and what we really are. And it's all based on fear. We think we're not equal to whatever it is, like these horrible memories that I've had some more of since then. Not a lot, but it's fear. It's thinking, oh, I'm not equal to that. I couldn't handle that. That would be crushing. And so again, I'm going to say, let's take the worst case scenario and sit down with it. Now, maybe all of you can imagine, we've all been a child. Each and every one of us has been a little child. So take yourself back to when you were tiny. And think what it's like when you try to tell mom or dad something and they won't listen, or they can't hear you, or they call you a liar, or you're making things up. And imagine a little child that's been locked away like that and never warmly accepted, never hugged, never believed. That's the kind of pain that, just as an example, I'm nothing special, just as an example, that I've been walking around with. We bury these things so deeply, and we don't realize that how much a part of ourself they've become. And so my recommendation always is to wrap your arms around your pain and wrap your arms around yourself as you go through it. Love yourself through it. Love to you. Good day.